One.
Hi, I'm Luke, and this is the SoCal Sustainability Energy Module, and I'm here with
Lucas Riccio.
So I'm just going to ask you some questions, and let's start with, have you ever heard of the term energy vampire as it relates to infrastructure?
No, not really. I've heard of it like on off conversations, but I've never really thought about what it meant.
So an energy vampire essentially is a piece of technology or an application that takes up energy when it is not actively being used. So think about like if you leave your toaster plugged in. Even though you're not using it, it's still sucking up energy from your home. So, in relation to that, estimate how much of the energy in your house is used up by idle load energy or something that's not like actively being used.
Maybe 15-20%?
That's actually a very good estimate. So, experts estimate that around 20 to even 30% of total energy usage is from idle load energy. So that's energy that is essentially being wasted and that you could be using on something else. It's just going pretty much to waste because no one's using the application. And secondly, think about the applications that you leave plugged in without a second thought. Like if you had to list some.
Probably my computer, toaster, microwave. The refrigerator might count, but that's something.
Yeah,
you
it
always
depends
have
if it's like electric or something. But
yeah, but a fridge is something you always have plugged in. Coffee maker, air fryer, just a bunch of stuff in my kitchen usually.
Exactly. Generally, kitchens are like a big source of like the energy vampire. So you just leave stuff plugged in. You don't really think about it as like technology. You think like as like appliances or stuff you use like for cooking. But it still does become an energy vampire. So top energy vampires includes a lot of these you mentioned: chargers, TVs, printers, computers that are in sleep mode, toasters, coffee makers, and smart speakers. So all those constantly kind of suck out energy, which could lead to more idle load energy being taken up.
Yeah, I think I understand.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Energy Star?
Again, on the off conversation and some engineering, but not really.
So, Energy Star is a joint program between the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency and Department of Energy, and it kind of regulates the technology that's for sale and gives it kind of a rating based on how efficient it is. So consumers can kind of look at that and gauge how energy efficient a piece of technology would be, or if it's like less sustainable. So it's very helpful for like consumers. Do you think that would be helpful if you could like look at pieces of technology and see that like label?
Yeah, it would be very helpful if even something as simple as like you're walking through, I don't know, a Target and you look at two different coffee makers and one takes up a huge amount of power and then the other one takes up barely any. So I think that would be really useful to have.
Yeah. And lastly, does your parent or guardian like lecture you about like turning the lights off or like when you leave the house like not turning stuff off?
I've been lectured once or twice, but that's only usually when we're gone for like super long extended periods of time, like when we go on trips or visit relatives in another state, and I accidentally leave my room lights on. But usually we're pretty good about turning off our lights and all of our appliances before we leave the house.
And would you say like energy sustainability is like a big thing in your household?
Probably, yeah. We do have a lot of electronics. Both me, my dad, and my brother all have computers that we use for both school, jobs, and just other entertainment stuff. But usually, again, we are pretty good about keeping them off or in sleep mode or even just unplugged if we're not using them.
Mm-hmm. And lastly, will you challenge like kind of your family members about trying to unplug energy vampires now that you've learned about them?
I mean, probably the only person I can really think that's not too good about doing it is my mom. She'll usually leave like coffee makers or just random cooking appliances plugged in after she's done cooking because she's just too tired to unplug them. But that's usually only things like mixers and other stuff you only use for like one or two specific meals.
All right, thank you so much. This has been SoCal Sustainability's Energy Module with Lucas Riccio, and thank you for watching.